Raider Nation, what's going on? We just got some good and bad news that I want to discuss. We're going to talk about some of the players that will and will not be playing against the Carolina Panthers today. Sorry, Chuck just hit the table. If you're looking for updates around the silver and black, make sure you click that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. That way you never miss a thing, and make sure you guys pull up on Sunday. It's going to get rowdy here on the Raiders Report. All right, the first thing is, I know a lot of people, when they saw Maxx Crosby on the injury report pop up, there were some people that were a little bit nervous. You're not going to keep Max out of this game. AP said that. It does sound like Mad Max is dealing maybe with a little bit of a minor knee injury right now, something that's a little bit annoying for him. But if dude almost put his life on the line, not even almost, dude put his life on the line last year for that knee injury and all that bacteria he had build up, there's no chance that he's going to miss this game. The home opener at Allegiant Stadium, hell, the guy hasn't even taken a single snap off yet. Max is a real one. He's going to be playing this game. I think the really, really good news, though, the big news here, why I really wanted to make this show, is because Jackson Powers-Johnson, he is going to be making his NFL debut this week against Carolina. And then the follow-up question today at the AP presser was, are you ready to see him start? And Pierce said that he had a good week of practice, and he's been working last week as well. He was really firing up a lot of the teammates on the sideline past week against Baltimore. But one of the things that I mentioned earlier this week on the Raiders Report, where I was like, you could see JPJ get his NFL start here, and it sounds like he's going to get his NFL start against Carolina because of one of the things, AP said, where I know sometimes people get a little bit aggravated when I talk about rumors, but I do think rumors can be helpful when you listen and you try to connect the dots on certain things. For AP to say, everything's on the table, the offensive line's been piss poor, it ain't on Zamir White, which there's a little bit of blame that deserves to go on Zamir, but that they might go with more of a power running scheme. Going with a power running scheme, I don't know if it's the best idea, but it fits Jackson Powers-Johnson, and it kind of fits like that mentality that he brings to the field. Yeah, you still got to see your other guys step it up. Colt Miller, Andre James, Dylan Parham, Thayer Munford, whoever it is. If Cody Whitehair has to go in the game, you got to have all hands on deck here because we need to be able to establish this running game for the long haul. But I did say, when I heard AP say that, I go, oh shit, there's a real shot. That's why I made the video earlier in the week of JPJ might start this week for the Las Vegas Raiders. But to me, he's going to be making his NFL debut. So here's what I like to do. I don't know if the Powers-Johnson family is going to end up watching this. JPJ, I think, is an absolute real one. I think he fits that mentality. When you're a young player and you say, you play for that name on the front, for it to bless your name on the back, I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. So let's show the rookie a little bit of love here. I want to see some JPJs down below. I'm excited, very, very excited to see what this rookie ends up looking like in his NFL debut up against the Carolina Panthers at Allegiant Stadium for Antonio Pierce. He was drafted in the second round out of Oregon. Thought he should have been in the first round. Some of the injury concerns have kind of, I think made him fall down where he did. But the Silver and Black are finally going to get to see that rookie from Oregon move some people around, and I hope it's everything that I wanted to see because I was really, really fired up when the Raiders ended up taking JPJ. All right, y'all, more good news here that we're going to get into in just a moment, but I do want to tell you guys about our sponsor, Game Time. I love Game Time. I love being able to go out to a good old Raiders game. I can still remember the first time I went out to Oakland back in 2019, and it hooked me, man. It totally, totally hooked me. I can remember Josh Jacobs' first touchdown. I can remember a game I went out to. It was the final game in final game in Oakland. It was the Raiders, Gardner Minshew. But to me, I go to places like Game Time because you're not just spending the money for that 4 hours. You're spending that money for the entire experience and the memories that come along with that. So if anybody wants to create some lasting memories, if anybody's trying to go to a Raiders game this year, download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. Create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's Game Time. Now, I love right now they got these Game Time picks, and it kind of just shows you what the best deals that are available are. And a lot of times, I'll go on my phone, and if I'm going out to Vegas, if you look up just right before the game gets going, you can see a lot of the good deals that they're doing. So right now I'm on the Game Time picks. I can get the top 1 percentile, row 309, row 3. That's a super deal right now, and that's $224. When I click on the Game Time picks portion here, it shows, this one deal is unbelievable. This is $200 to get in top 10% value. And row 10, 325. So I know a lot of times like Raiders tickets are super, super expensive, but that's not all that bad. And that's the all-in price, which means like that's what you're going to pay when you go to checkout. So if anybody's going to the Raiders game, download the Game Time app. That link's going to be able to all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. All right, we're going to keep it moving here. We got some more good news coming up. Tyree Wilson, he's going to be back. Chuck, chill. He's going to be back. And he's going to be playing this week against Carolina. I know that he left that week 1 game against the Los Angeles Chargers with a little bit of a knee sprain. And I was trying to get an update from Tyree's team on like how healthy he was going to be. I made a video kind of breaking down the levels of knee sprain severity. I don't remember it off the top of my head. I'm not a doctor, but I know it was like there was this level, which was 1 to 2 weeks. There was this level, which they were concerned it was 3 to 4. And then there's the one where it's like, all right, yeah, it's a much, much bigger problem. We obviously were a little bit panicky as well because Malcolm Kuntz just went down. He's on that short-term IR. But for Tyree Wilson, this is a really big step for him. I want him to be able to go out there, get his feet wet. He's got to be fired up. Going up against a team like Carolina, be able to pin his ears back. I want him to see him at defensive tackle. I want to see him at defensive end, but Tyree's going to be able to go out there, and it just adds a little bit more depth here to this Raiders defense. I will say one of the takes that I've been having this week, and you guys are going to get a mailbag tomorrow, and I'll talk about it a little bit more in depth, about K'Lavon Chaisson. I was like, could K'Lavon Chaisson have a little bit of a revenge game? Reminder, the Panthers, they signed him this offseason, and then they ended up cutting him. So I thought maybe you could see a little bit more out of K'Lavon, but good news here for Tyree. If the Raiders want to get that defense at the ultimate peak, you gotta have a healthy and a good Tyree Wilson. Well, that was the good news. Now it's time to get into some of the bad news because there is, some bad news, unfortunately, and it is Diablo is unlikely to play according to Antonio Pierce. Reminder, he's still dealing with this like hip oblique type of injury, and as soon as I heard that he's, more than unlikely to be able to go, Diablo's been dealing with some injuries throughout his career. So my question to you is this. Who would you start at linebacker? Would you go with Tommy Eichenberg? Would you go with Luke Masterson? Would you go with Amari Gaynor? Maybe there's another name. Let me know down below, and I'm going to let you know who I would start at linebacker and who the Raiders are going to start at linebacker after this YouTube ad break. The Las Vegas Raiders are going to be going with Luke Masterson in place of Diablo. Tommy Eichenberg was a full participant at practice the past 2 days. He was limited on Wednesday, and you're going to probably see him in some sort of fashion out there. They're going to go with some sort of rotation, but I also think that you could see a little bit of Isaiah Palomeo playing this hybrid linebacker role on top of that. They love the versatility that he's able to bring day in and day out at practice and on the field, and he's just somebody I think that has a lot of, a lot of love in that coaching staff, in that locker room, no doubt about it. So Masterson will end up getting the start. It's going to be a big game for him. I talk about him on the show that I think went out a little bit earlier today in my preview of Carolina with Deontay Johnson, with Adam Thielen, with Andy Dalton. They're going to try to get the ball out quickly. So for our linebackers, I think for a guy like Marcus Epps, we got to play close there to the box a little bit, try to make them beat us deep, because I don't think that they have the skill position players and they don't have the quarterback play because Ja'Cory Bennett deserves love. They don't have the receivers. They don't have the skill position players to be able to match up with Nate Hobbs, Jack Jones, Ja'Cory Bennett, Trevon Merrick, and then with the front that we have. This is going to be a team, though, that Carolina, they're going to be fired up, which I don't blame them. This is their Super Bowl. It kind of reminds me of, last season when Josh McDaniels was fired and the Raiders were fired up to go up against the New York Giants. You know why? Because you want to prove everybody wrong. So this is a game that we cannot afford to sleep on. So one more time here again, the good news is Crosby's going to be playing. JPJ is expected to start. Those are Antonio Pierce's words, not mine. Tyree Wilson, he's going to be back. He's going to be playing in this game. Diablo out. That's the bad news. And then look for, Luke Masterson to kind of get in rotation there. I got a little bug crawling on my screen. Look for Luke Masterson to get the start. Rotate probably in with Isaiah Palomeo. I would like to see Tommy Eichenberg get a few reps in. I would also like to see Amari Gaynor. I know I've been kind of asking for that one player who really I thought did a solid job in the preseason. Another player that I really want to see more of is Trey Tucker. So that's a guy to be on the lookout. Also, man, if you guys, seriously, if you haven't already, give me a follow on IG or on Twitter. I got to give a shout out to Rebel Montana. Alex is out of town this week. She's in San Diego, so I'm on dog dad duty. There's no way having a kid is difficult as being a single dog dad, right? No, I'm totally kidding there. But I'm cleaning out the garage, so I'm kind of like moving all sorts of shit around today. And I see a message from Rebel, and he goes, dude, the videos that you just put out had no audio. I put out an update on Tyree, and I put out an update on Jackson Powers Johnson, and none of those videos had any audio. So that's what being a part of the Silver and Black's about. That's what part of being the Silver and Black Hills is all about. Shout out to Rebel, but genuinely, I tell people to hit me up on IG, and I got lucky enough. I saw it. So Rebel, I owe you a big old thank you there. If you're not doing anything on Raiders game day, seriously, man, make sure you guys pull up. We're going to be giving away a Charles Woodson jersey. We got some other fun things on tap as well for the nation. If you didn't watch yesterday's live show, it was crazy. It was wild. I had to walk home in a freaking Yoda costume. If you're seeing something about me wanting Matthew Stafford, I want you to go watch Thursday Night Football, because there's an inside story behind me wanting Matthew Stafford on the Raiders. So go check it out. I'm still rocking with the guard dog. I'm rocking with Gardner Minshew. It's why I wore the hat today. Real talk, I'm excited to see what this team does. I want to get to 2-1, but you cannot afford to sleep on the Carolina Panthers. All right, Chuck's been kind of yelling at me today. I gotta take him out here for a little WALK before it gets it's already 98 degrees here. It's just stupidly hot, but that is what it is. All right, y'all, I'm going to get the heck out of here. Appreciate everyone tuning in to the Raiders Report, and if you haven't already, again, make sure you click that subscribe button. For more updates around the Silver and Black, I'm going to be pumping out videos every single day. If you click this button right here, I promise you we got you taken care of. If you want to see more content that I've made here in the last 24 hours, go check out that one. And then this one also is a video that YouTube thinks that you would really like since you're a Raider fan. Peace out. I'll see you guys on Sunday. And as always, go Raiders.